Good to see you everyone. I am Ernanda and I'm a tour and travel business student from Universitas Gadjah Mada. So in this occasion, I will present to you guys about the France travel documents. Are you curious on how to get there? Stay tuned on this video. We have three main topics for today's discussion. The first one is about the travel documents. Second one is about the immigration and custom regulations or policy. And the last one is about the cabin and baggage information. But before that, I'm gonna do a quick intermezzo about France. Why everyone on this earth want to travel to France? Because France is famous for its rich cultural heritage, including its museums, art galleries, and historic landmarks. Popular cultural attractions include the Louvre Museum in Paris, the Palace of Versailles, and the Eiffel Tower have succeeded to attract many people to come to France. French cuisine is also known worldwide and is home to some of the world's most famous restaurants. Visitors can explore local markets and food festivals to discover regional specialties. Okay, without any further ado, let's move on to the first topic. Here, I'll explain some of the documents that you have to be presented on your arrival in France. The first one is a valid passport issued less than 10 years before and valid for at least 3 months after the envisaged departure date. The second one is a valid visa. Third one, proof of accommodation covering the whole duration of the stay, such as hotel reservation and or certificate of staying with a relative validated in the town hall. Next is sufficient financial, that means of subsistence shall be assessed according to the duration and purpose of the stay and by reference to the average prices for accommodation and food in the member states. The fifth one is your return ticket or the financial means to acquire one at the envisaged return date. Sixth is you must have an insurance certificate covering all medical and hospital expenses for which you may be liable for the duration of your stay in France. Seventh, any document providing details on the profession or the capacity of the traveler as well known on the establishment or organization located in France which are expecting you if you are a professional trip. And you know, as Indonesian citizens, we have to apply a visa to get to France. So, how to apply the Schengen visa in Indonesia? The first step is visa application submitted in Indonesia will be issued by the Embassy of France in Jakarta, which is the only authority capable of making decisions concerning visas. The time it takes for your visa to be issued may vary according to the applicant's nationality and the requested visa type. Furthermore, the time spent between your registration date and your appointment date may also vary according to the reasons. Therefore, it is recommended for you to take an appointment as soon as your trip's departure date is known. Second, visa applications are done through the TLS Contact Center in Jakarta. Appointments can be scheduled from the TLS Contact website or by calling their free call center. Next topic is about the immigration and customs regulations or policy. France, like many countries, has regulation prohibiting certain items from being brought into the country. Some prohibited items include drugs and narcotics. Importing illegal drugs or narcotics into France is strictly prohibited. Second is counterfeit goods. Bringing counterfeit products or goods that infringe on intellectual property rights is not allowed. Third is weapons and firearms. Carrying firearms and certain types of weapons into France is strictly regulated and often prohibited, unless one has obtained specific permits and adheres to strict regulation. Fourth, endangered species. Items made from endangered animals or plants such as ivory, certain woods, or animal skins may be restricted or prohibited from entry. Fifth, certain foods and agricultural products. There might be restriction on bringing certain food items, plants, seeds, and agricultural products into France to prevent the introduction of pests or diseases that could harm local ecosystem or agriculture. 6. Culture and historical items. Antique cultural artifacts and certain historical items may have restriction on their importation, especially if they are considered national treasures or protected under international cultural heritage laws. 7th is hazardous materials. Items such as explosive fireworks and other hazardous material are typically not allowed to be brought to France without proper authorization. If you're planning to go to France, what can bring in and out of the country? Foreigners may bring goods into or from France and the rest of the European Union up to a certain value before having to pay customs duty, excise taxes, or VAT, value added tax. Next is the limit for the common duty-free items, such as cigarettes, 200 units, cigarillos, 100 units, maximum 3 grams each, cigars, 50 units, still ones 4 liters, beer 60 liters, spirits over 22 degrees volume 1 liter, fortified ones 22 degrees volume or less 2 liters, medicational drugs for personal use may be imported in quantities sufficient for a 3-month treatment without prescription or for longer than 3 months with a prescription. Motor fuel. When you enter France, the fuel contained in your standard tank of your private motor vehicle and in the spare fuel can, with a maximum capacity of 10 liters, is exempt from duties and taxes. Please note that cigarette and alcohol loans are not allowed for travelers under the age of 17. These passengers are not allowed to bring any amount of these goods into France. Duty and tax exemptions are strictly individual. You cannot combine and accumulate them between passengers. Also note that items worth more than maximum exempt amount will be subject to customary duties and taxes. You can bring personal items such as guitars or bicycles to France and not be charged any taxes or fees as long as the items are clearly for personal use. You may not sell or dispose of these while in France. All personal items declared to customs upon entry into France must be transported back with you. The last material is about cabin and baggage information. Cabin and baggage information regulation for flights from Indonesia to France can be vary based on the airline, ticket class, and specific travel restriction in place. However, here are some general guidelines. For cabin baggage, airlines often have restriction on the size, weight, and number of cabin bags allowed. Typically for international flights, the allowance is 1 carry-on bag along with a personal item such as a purse or a laptop bag. The dimensions and weight limits for cabin baggage can differ between airlines, so it's crucial to check with your airline for their specific requirements. Next one is checked baggage. The allowance for checked baggage also varies depending on the airline and ticket class. Economy class passengers usually have a specific weight allowance, while business or first class passengers may have higher allowances. Exceeding the weight of size limits might incur additional charges. Next is restricted items. There are regulations regarding items that are prohibited or restricted in both cabin and checked baggage. Prohibited items include sharp objects, flammable materials, firearms, certain liquids, and other potentially dangerous items. Restricted items might include certain electronic or valuables that might need to be declared or insured. Last is customs declaration. When entering France, there are restrictions on items that can be brought into the country. Certain goods, particularly agricultural products or items subject to duty, may require declaration or have specific limits on quantities allowed. To ensure compliance and avoid any inconvenience or extra charges, it's advisable to check the baggage allowances, restrictions, and guidelines provided by the airline you're flying with and review the custom regulation for France before your journey. That's quite a lot, I think, the materials from me. Thank you for watching and have a good day, everyone. Bye!